I'm Alison Harvey, Archivist at Cardiff University. In this video, I'll be introducing the Internet Archive and the benefits it offers to both researchers and cultural heritage organisations. The Internet Archive is a non-profit that enables anyone to upload and freely host unlimited quantities of digital content on an open access website. I started looking at the possibility of migrating our digital assets to the Internet Archive at the start of 2020. They were being held on a platform that had reached the end of its supported life, and we were in the process of procuring a new system when the COVID-19 pandemic began. In the subsequent disruption to organisational priorities and budgets, which was happening everywhere, the process was halted and needed to quickly find a free home for our digital assets at a time when they were in more demand than ever, and the Internet Archive seemed to offer a solution. This is the user interface. Institutions can group their content into collections, which helps prevent it being lost among the millions of items that are hosted by the Internet Archive. They're previewed with a thumbnail of the cover or front page, and there are various options for sorting. Users can also filter by format, date, subject, creator, and language. And every item uploaded has OCR, or optical character recognition, applied by default. And this means that users can search for books using their metadata, title, author, and subject matter, and they can also search inside the text as well. Here I've searched for the word railway inside this book. When you used to do a keyword search in the Internet Archive, you'd see this visualization along the bottom of the screen that shows you the relative location of the matches in the book. If you hover over them, you can preview some of the text. But there's been a recent update that's improved the search inside functionality, adding this left-hand menu that gives you more text to browse. It provides really useful context at a glance and limits the number of pages you need to load to see whether or not a result is relevant. If you click a result, it pulls up the page with the keyword highlighted, and when you found what you want, you can just carry on reading. The pages can be viewed singly, doubly, as thumbnails, or they can even be read aloud. The content's made further accessible by a range of download options that allow you to reuse the files. Users can extract the original high-resolution images, a Kindle version, a compact PDF, or even just the plain text. The Internet Archive offers an enormous free repository of text, images, and audiovisual content to support research and teaching. As well as helping students working remotely on essays and dissertations, hosting our content here has allowed us to present defined collections of resources to support new and innovative means of assessment beyond exams, such as online exhibitions and short films, which are more important than ever given the context of remote learning. Of as much interest to researchers as the resources themselves can be the data they contain. We've seen how easily and accurately text can be extracted from hosted works, and this has multiple applications for digital scholarship. If this is of interest to you, the website Programming Historian has a number of step-by-step tutorials relating to the Internet Archive, which demonstrate how to extract data for text analysis and topic modeling, or even image extraction to support machine learning. This is a great website for learning how to unlock the potential of full text data for research. The Internet Archive also has benefits for us as an institution. We don't need to call on IT teams to ingest new content because our staff can do this directly. This allows us to respond very quickly to time-sensitive media inquiries, and if necessary, we can make new content live within the hour to support features on our collections. As well as improving collection exposure via the media, we've been able to raise our profile internally, supporting the work of our colleagues in alumni and marketing by providing a vast, searchable, filterable image bank for their use. Behind the scenes, but just as important, are benefits related to our metadata. Like many institutions, we had silos of metadata and digital content created for various internal and external projects, all to different specifications. In order to complete the migration to Internet Archive, it was necessary to make all of our metadata consistent with Dublin Core. Dublin Core is one of the most interoperable metadata standards, and most digital repositories will be able to handle it. This makes porting our content to other platforms simple and sustainable. We can export our metadata from the Internet Archive at any time using their advanced search tool and in a range of useful formats. This consistency, interoperability, and accessibility of our metadata has allowed us to make agile responses to new opportunities, such as joining the UK's national libraries and the Hathi Trust in sharing our collections with open texts. We've also been able to swiftly respond to a recent call by JSTOR Open Community Collections, who are currently offering institutions free hosting for a pilot period. With minimal input or effort on our part, our images and metadata were harvested directly from the Internet Archive by JSTOR within just a day of signing a Memorandum of Understanding. Between the Internet Archive and JSTOR, our digital content has never been more accessible or as heavily used. JSTOR's analytics dashboard allows us to evidence demand and make collections more visible and tangible to stakeholders. This rather long story has a happy ending. By putting our collections where they can be seen and valued, we've been successful in leveraging support within our institution to invest in a dedicated digital discovery tool. If you're facing a similar situation where you need to make your collections visible in order to demonstrate demand for them, the Internet Archive could be the stepping stone that you need. The one barrier to use I encountered with the Internet Archive was the requirement to add items and their metadata one at a time through the web interface. The initial migration of content from our old platform was uploaded in this way, but as the advantages of the Internet Archive became clear, I was keen to scale up and improve efficiency. I wanted to migrate all of our legacy content, orphaned by now defunct projects, and feed it as well with fresh, in-demand resources. Individual upload was not going to be sustainable for these quantities, so I began to look into bulk uploading using Python via the command line. I found very little advice online on how to do this that was accessible to non-developers, but once you get past the jargon, it is relatively straightforward, and the principles behind it will be familiar to anyone who's used to handling metadata. If you think this might be a good solution for your institution and you want to have a go yourself, I've made a step-by-step tutorial on how to batch upload digital collections to the Internet Archive, which can be found at the link. Please do feel free to get in touch with me if you're setting out on this journey and you have any questions you'd like to ask along the way. Thanks for listening.